Hello, everyone. Make sure this is off. Happy Monday. Hope everybody is doing amazing today. Welcome to Oracle Readings. My name is Dana Gomez with Sage and Harmony Holistic Coaching. I appreciate you being here. Oh my gosh. Oh, the week's just going by so fast. We're already on another Monday. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining our show today. A little bit of a disclaimer. Any information provided on the show is for educational entertainment purposes only. It is not meant to treat or diagnose any health or mental health questions. And there are no health or legal questions allowed on the show. So that is a disclaimer for our show. Thank you so much for being here. Please be sure to drop in the comments a hello, where you're from. We are going to get into our readings in just a moment. But first, as always, hi, Kim. All right, we'll get into that in just a second. As always, we are going to start with our affirmations so we can get ourselves nice and aligned for today. Get you on the list, Kim. Thank you. So let's go ahead now and just allow ourselves to be. Go ahead and close your eyes if you are in a safe place where you can do so. And just let your body relax. Bringing awareness to your body now. Just noticing where in your body you're feeling an emotion that needs to be honored and released, or maybe honored and embraced. Allowing your tummy to just expand. Feel very calm and relaxed as we're breathing. All right, now let's see what the universe has in store for us today. So today's affirmation is, I am safe and divinely protected. I am safe and divinely protected. That is our affirmation. Let this be the mantra for this week also. I am safe and divinely protected. So let's go right hand over our heart, left hand over our tummy. Go ahead and just breathe that in nice and deep, saying that nice and loud to the universe. I am safe and divinely protected. Breathing that in. Good. Big exhale out. I am safe and divinely protected. Letting your shoulders drop. Go ahead and say that nice and loud out to the universe. Good. Breathing that in nice and deep. Awesome. Big exhale out. I am safe and divinely protected. Nice inhale. Breathing in nice and deep. Good. Big exhale out. One last time. I am safe and divinely protected. Breathing that in. And exhale. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's go ahead and get into, we're going to put you here. I'm running out of desk space already. All right, so I have for Kim first, I'll be using the Archangel deck. Oh, thank you very much. Cards have already been cleansed while I was getting ready for the show, so we are good to go. Hello, Miss Helen. Oops. Thank you. I appreciate you. I am doing wonderful. Thank you. It's been quite the Monday. Ooh. Thank you very much. Okay, Kim. So for you, the first card is Trust the Universe. Again, we are working. Let me try to get this so that it's not too much glare. Maybe that helps. Trust the Universe is the first card. Your second card is Healing Energy. And your third card, is Holy Love. Holy Love. Okay. Hi, Sherry. Yes, of course. I'll get you on the list. Thank you for joining us, Sherry. Just please also share where you are joining us from, please, if you'd like. Kim, so as I was shuffling, and actually the card Trust the Universe fell out while I was shuffling. That it was definitely not by accident in any means. One of the things that is coming through straight away is unfortunately that just trusting the universe and trusting the process. I think that sometimes when we go through the challenges, we want so much to not go through the challenges that we don't want somebody else that we care about to have these challenges. But I think the important thing to remember is the challenges are there for a reason. The bad times are there for a reason. And in those bad times is where growth happens, is where faith is really tapped into. It's where you start learning who you are, or that person starts learning who they are, and really, what to do and what not to do. That is where we gain our wisdom and our strength. It's in those challenges and those hard times. Trusting the universe is just that. Sometimes we have to just trust the process, and as painful as that is to do sometimes and be in that surrender, it's allowing things to happen and unfold the way that they're supposed to. Why do I say that? Because what's the saying? A smooth sea never made a savvy sailor, right? So basically, just the fact that you can't learn and you can't be a skilled sailor is really what it is. You can't learn and can't know how to go through the challenges and the ebbs and flows in life if everything is always good. The hardest thing especially is when it's our children. But here's the beautiful part of it, is that there is healing energy that's surrounding. So the healing energy is there, absolutely surrounded by love, God's divine holy love that's there. So there's a lot of support. This is just one of those situations that you just kind of have to let things play out the way that they're supposed to, because they always work out exactly how they're supposed to. That healing energy, I am feeling a lot of physical healing that is going to be coming through, and that's going to be a two-parter. That's going to be a two-parter, just in the sense of it's going to be, because I'm feeling it coming from two people, that healing physical energy. And it's just going to be a really big sign of relief. However, the holy love is really just there to show love, show support, give the guidance that you're needing. Please remember that when you're, and if your son is open to it, and I don't know the situation around your son, but please remember just to be able to fall back on that, if that makes sense, knowing that you have that opportunity to fall back on that pure, divine, God-given love, angels love, your guardians love, or whatever deity that you work with, just being able to divine source energy, just being able to be 100% into that. Because when you fall back into that and you allow that trust and surrender, and you allow things to unfold the way that they're supposed to, you start having more faith. Faith doesn't grow in comfortable places, right? Faith grows when we are in these uncomfortable positions. That's where our trust grows. That's where we start learning that when we are having those hard times and things start miraculously working out. Those aren't miracles. I mean, miracles are real, and I believe in miracles, but they're miracles because there's that connection, because you're allowing divine energy to come in and to work with you and to help to guide you. So everything is happening the way that it's supposed to. I'm asking you just to kind of hold on just for a bit longer. Continue to be in your faith. Continue to fall back on that holy love. Continue to just see yourself and see your child in that healing energy. That is probably the most important thing. Visualizing that healing energy around the both of you. Just the energy of everything just, being washed away, that energy of healing, that energy of light inside him and you. So then that way you guys can both continue to heal. And again, that physical energy, well, that kind of makes sense now. That physical energy that I was seeing, or that physical healing that I was seeing, it's going to be the two of you that are going to be going through that physical healing energy that's going to be wiped away. There you are. Good. You're so welcome. Visualization, when you're manifesting, and the energy, the feeling, the emotion that you're putting behind it, that is going to be so important when you're connecting and you're talking to your team and you're asking for a team. Now, also know that you can ask your team to connect with your son's team. I don't know if you knew that. If you can ask your team and just say, hey, my angels, my archangels, my guardians, my whoever, my ascended masters, please connect with my son's team. He needs help. He needs healing. Because if he doesn't know how to do that, that's okay. You can actually ask your team to connect with his. It's the same way that when I do my readings, that's the first thing I do. I don't pull a card unless I connect with your team first. If you guys ever notice, when I'm doing the readings, I always say connecting with so-and-so's team for their highest good, so that I can get messages of love, peace, and light. So allowing yourself to, asking your team to connect with his, so then that way it'll help him get through the challenges, give him the love, give him the support, give him the guidance that he needs. Good. I'm glad that resonated with you so much, dear. Good. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for being here. I think I did a reading for you. Was it last week or the week before? Your name looks really familiar. Thank you for supporting the show and being here. I appreciate you. Sherry Lance, checking in from Maryland. Well, welcome from Maryland. I appreciate you being here. Is Raphael going to talk tonight? And he's looking forward to it. Okay, Sherry, I don't do those type of readings. My readings are centered around what you need to know in your life for healing and love. Okay, I did do a reading for you last week. Okay, I knew your name sounded familiar. Yeah, my readings aren't specific like that. I can tell you what you need to know as far as energy, healing, love. But yeah, I'm sorry if that's what you're looking for here. I don't know if you're going to talk to him, and I don't know if he's looking forward to it. If you want to know the energy that's behind the relationship that you guys have, sure, I'm happy to do that. But I get messages and I tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And so what energy is going to happen with you guys tonight? Okay. Again, I will give you the information that you need to have as far as whatever is going on with that. You're so welcome, Kim. But I don't know necessarily what it is that you're looking for with that. That's not the kind of readings that I do, dear. But so this might not be a good fit for you, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm happy to pull some cards and give you the messages that you're supposed to get, but not necessarily that kind of reading. So if you want that, I'm happy to do that, but nothing that's Like, I don't tell you futures. I don't tell you if you're going to get married. I don't tell you when you're going to die. I don't tell you those things. As far as like, oh, am I going to get a promotion? I can tell you what you need in order to get that promotion. I can tell you the energy that you need to heal in order to get there. Are you going to get married? Maybe, but I can tell you what you need to in order to get to that marriage, if that makes sense. But I don't do those type of readings. Okay. Okay, let's go with Sherry Lance. Come on, Sherry's team. Sherry's team. Let's go, please. There are, if you follow Psychic Fixes, if you are a subscriber to the, I think it's the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, there are a lot of other practitioners here. We all do different things. So maybe when somebody else could be able to give you possibly those answers that you're looking for. But I am happy to pull some cards for you tonight, my dear. And my dogs are going to start barking really loud in a minute. So Sherry, for you, we are using the Keepers of the Light deck. Let's see what we got for you tonight. They do have awesome readers. Oh my gosh, so much. Ooh. Well, this is an interesting. Okay, so your first card is Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest, speak with love, and be heard. Your second is Lord Shiva, transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. And your third is Kali Ma, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Now, one of the things that we're going to open up with is that first card of open communication with Mercury. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up and be heard. The second that I'm going to address, and then I'll get into the third card, which is transcendence, Lord Shiva. That first card of open communication, getting a weight off your chest, speaking up with love and be heard, and then facing fear. This is your chance to soar. This, you know, one of the things that is coming off. Oh, thank you, Helen. Thank you, Helen. You're so sweet. One of the things that is coming through is just the. It's interesting. I think that one of the that you were asking about your partner. I'm not sure who this person is. Is Raphael going to talk to you tonight? The reason that I find that kind of interesting is because that open communication that it just kind of seems that you're looking for is, are you speaking your truth, your friend? Okay, well, you know, is it a sense where you're kind of speaking your truth? Are you in a place where you are, when you're communicating, it's important to learn how to communicate through comprehension and compassion versus just speaking. So what do I mean? There are ways that we can speak with people that is life alienating communication, which means that you and I can have a conversation. I could say something to you and you completely shut you down. However, you're just trying to get your point across. And so the fear of being able to say something without being rejected will kind of stand in the way. And so you may not necessarily speak your truth, which is kind of that's why it's speak up with love and be heard. That's kind of why this card is coming through. When you're communicating, whether it's with Raphael or whoever else that you're communicating, making sure that you are speaking your truth. Are you coming from that place of love? Are you speaking out of fear in the sense of, am I putting blocks up? Am I being defensive? Am I not saying everything that I want to say and holding some things back because I'm afraid of the rejection, or I'm afraid of what's going to happen if I speak my truth? The reality is that what ends up happening is that when you speak your truth, either people are going to come or people are going to go out of your life. And that's just a natural part of life. I talk about detachment all the time. And that detachment is about not holding on to the end result of this conversation. So you and I could be having a conversation, and I know that if I speak my truth in a way that's loving and productive and effective, you may not receive it that way. And that is absolutely in your right to not receive it that way. Oh Lord, here we go. That is absolutely in your right to receive it that way. However, what ends up happening is that the communication doesn't come through in a way that feels safe for you to be able to talk. Now, that's why that facing fear is, this is your chance to soar. You have the right to express yourselves in any way that you want to, but just don't attach yourself to the end result of what that's going to look like. Rise up and honor your inner force. Dance with the universe. You really just, at the end of it, let me clear up some of this stuff. At the end of it is just being able to trust what the universe has to offer. If that makes sense. Being able to just say, you know what, I'm going to speak my truth to you, and I'm going to say this in a way that I hope comes through. When we're speaking from I versus a you, which can be very life alienating. So what do I mean? So if a person, for example, let's just say a significant other, a partner, right? If you tell this person, you never spend enough time with me, you never, that sounds very blamey, right? Hey, darling. And so it's very blamey. And so when somebody says that, immediately the defense goes up. Nobody wants to talk. I'm going to now shut you down. But when you say, hey, I would like XYZ because I would like to spend more time with you because I miss you. How about if that now comes from a place where you can have open communication. Your need is being met. You're speaking your truth. You're speaking your authentic self. You're able to now speak in a way that the communication is coming in through comprehension and compassion. Because we can communicate all day. Like communication can go so many different ways. But I say that to say is that be very mindful of the way that you're communicating, because if you are communicating in a way that can shut somebody down, then it's going to start feeling like rejection on your end. Does that make sense? So then that way, and then it starts like, oh, well, this person, and then we go into this whole blame type thing. Trying to get away from these spammers that are now coming in the box. So rise up, honor your inner voice, trust yourself, trust the voice that you have, trust your feelings, trust your intuition. I will say to you that the practice of speaking your truth and speaking from your intuition and speaking in it from a place that allows a comfortable place between two people, especially if that other person is open to it, that can create an entirely different relationship, whether that's an intimate relationship, or it's professional, or just, friendship wise. But just remember to honor yourself, honor your truth, honor the fact that you have something to say. Just say it in a way that's going to allow these people to, whoever it is, to, and don't fear the attachment that's going to happen to at the end of the conversation. Don't worry about how the conversation is going to end, because the people that are supposed to be in your life are going to continue to be in your life. That is your message for this evening. You're so welcome. We have, oh my gosh, we have so many people coming. We have Kate. Hello, Kate. Yes, I would have been very upset if you missed me tonight. We have, Gabrielle. Hello, Gabrielle. You seem like a new viewer. Welcome. So thank you so much for being here. Where are you checking in from? Diana, so great to see you again. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you. All right. You know what? So I don't know if you guys, whoever follows me on Facebook knows that like I've been packing and stuff this week. So I actually came across one of my very first card decks, right? One of my very first card decks. I do. Yes, ma'am. If you want a channeled reading from a loved one, I only do those in personal sessions unless they happen to just randomly come through. But I do channeling through mediumships. One of my very first card decks, which was the Goddess deck. I think this is Doreen Virtue one. I still have a couple of her decks that I really like. She got weird, but we still love her. So I would love to pull a Goddess card for anybody that would be interested in that, because it's been a minute since I used. I mean, it's honestly been a couple of years since I used this deck. Gabrielle, did you still want a reading, my dear? I want to make sure before I start pulling cards for you. Angels, thank you. You're so welcome. Okay, calling on Gabrielle's team, knowing Gabrielle's teams to come through for her side, please. All right, so Miss Gabrielle, your first card is Healing Energy. Your second card is Forgiveness and Understanding, and this is working with the Angel deck or the Archangel deck. So Forgiveness and Understanding. And then your last card is Transformation. And this actually almost reads out like a story, doesn't it? Especially that forgiveness and understanding being in the middle. One of the things that I would like to point out is that forgiveness and understanding card. I want you to notice something. There's almost like a shield, and the beautiful staff with the energy behind it, but there's almost like a shield around the angel. And okay, yeah, those readings I do on a personal, one-to-one type thing, again, unless that person comes through. This show, I do quick card pulls. I give you the message that you need to get, and I move on to the next person. This show is not meant to just see one person at a time. So again, you can actually schedule one of those readings with me on my website. I'm happy to do that. I record them. That way you have a record of the reading itself, and I send it to you. Okay, that's fine. Did you want this information? Because I have it here. Like, I have your cards, and it's quite a beautiful reading, actually. So, I mean, if you would like, otherwise I can move on to, I don't know who else was next, but there was somebody else, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So again, your first card is that healing energy. Your second card is forgiveness and understanding. And your third card is transformation. And like I was saying, it really kind of reads out like kind of a story. That forgiveness and understanding being in the middle of the transformation and healing energy. One leads into the next. So that healing energy and forgiveness, they have to go hand in hand before we get to the transformation part. So what does that mean? Forgiveness is part of our healing process in our journey. Not just forgiving other people, forgiving ourselves, knowing that when we are even forgiving other people, that we are not just letting them off the hook. We're doing it for ourselves. We're doing it because it's not healthy for us to hold on to those emotions of sadness and anger and rage and all those frustrations, because they end up getting, they manifest themselves in our body as diseases. And so what ends up happening is that, you start lowering your vibration, you start creating, health issues with ourselves, all of those migraines, diabetes, heart issues, lung issues, all of those things happen because we in our body have not reconciled some of these pain and emotions that we've gone through. And so that's where that kind of that healing energy goes through. But it's so much more than the physical. Obviously, there's the emotional, there's the mental, there's the spiritual part of it. But that forgiveness and understanding is knowing that people, and even ourselves, when we are feeling that pain, there's a reason for the pain. Now, pain is, and I always say that pain is necessary in growth, but suffering is optional, right? Because we don't need to suffer. We don't need to be in certain states for extensive periods of time. You can feel the pain and process it and go through the healing and honor that process. Pull out the good from it, because there has to be some good from it. Every horrible situation has something that you can pull out from it, whether these are relationships or now taking that experience and helping somebody else, creating change. There's a way to be able to create change from pain. Now, that's where that transformation comes from, because once you go through that part, once you start accepting and going through this healing and letting go some of this, going through the forgiveness process and the understanding, because with forgiveness, there has to be understanding. With understanding, there's forgiveness. Those literally go hand in hand also. So when you're having that forgiveness, it's understanding that people will understand you to the point of their perception and their pain. Sometimes people understand you to the point of their trauma. Sometimes people will hurt you because they themselves are feeling hurt. And it may not be a personal thing, but when you can understand that hurt people, it kind of changes everything. Does that make sense? And so creating now this level of transformation for you to experience and move on to the next level, there's so much more for you to go through. But I say that in a good way, right? So it's not like, oh, now I have to go through something else. No, I think you're new here. I remember seeing your name before to do readings, but I talk about, I have a hard time forgiving my dad for not being there for me because I was raised by a single mother and grandmother. I understand that. And I can empathize with that 110% because I went through the same thing. My stepfather that was there was abusive and was an alcoholic. So my biological father wanted nothing to do with me. But with that, there is, so if you go back to your father, right, then the experiences that he went through pulled him away from fatherhood. He viewed fatherhood in the way that he viewed it, and that's how he continued to manifest it. That's how he continued to process the cycle. So was his father in the picture? You know what I mean? When he was 6 years old, what was happening with him? When he was 13 years old, what was happening with him? People, again, hurt people. So he is creating and repeating the cycle that he probably experienced also. You're going to treat people to the extent of your knowledge and your perception of things. If he didn't do any healing work, if he didn't, go through those things, and he's going to continue to repeat the cycle. You, on the other hand, now have the opportunity to forgive him and see him instead of seeing, and I kind of want you to do this exercise, instead of seeing him as an adult male who wasn't there, right? I would like for you, and I'll invite you to see him as a 6-year-old boy who needed his parent, father, mother, and who didn't receive it. I would like for you to connect with that child and see what that child needed, because I don't know the situation, I don't know anything, but I can almost guarantee that your father as a child at some point didn't receive what he needed from his parent, which is why he's now repeating the cycle. Now, sometimes there is a physical presence, but there isn't the emotional connection presence that is needed, right? So emotional neglect and emotional abandonment is equally as traumatizing as physical abandonment. Sometimes even worse, because you're sitting right there, like you could literally come and give me a hug, but you're not. You'd rather, read the newspaper, watch TV, or whatever. But we don't know what's happening. Maybe they were in the military and they experienced some issues. We don't know. I don't know. But I ask you to connect with his younger self. And the reason that I ask you to connect with his younger self is because that will help with this forgiveness and understanding. It's harder to forgive an adult than it is a child, right? Because as an adult, he did so many things wrong. He wasn't there. He didn't help. He was neglectful. He wasn't present. He made your mom and your grandmother raise you. There was so many reasons to be upset with him. I get it. Trust me. I get it. I was there. But if you connect with his younger child self to see what that baby needed, you will see that you and that baby have everything in common. And the person now that has the opportunity to change and to break that cycle is you, my dear. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to repeat the cycle by attracting men or a partner that is going to do the same thing for you. Because we do that unconsciously most of the time, but we do that. So you attract a partner that is emotionally unavailable, emotionally abandoning, physically abandoning. Sometimes there's abuse that comes along with it, right? These men cheat. And let me show you what that looks like. They are habitual cheaters. They are married, right? We'll get involved with married. We'll get involved with people that are from, that will literally just say, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't want anything to do with a relationship. But we go into it saying, I can change him. Just wait. I got this. He's going to love me in the end. No, that's he's literally telling you he doesn't want a relationship. He's literally telling you that's not what he wants. He's not going to emotionally be there for you. But because you are used to that emotional thing, that is what you're going to gravitate towards. Does that make sense? So I say that to say is be careful with the relationships that you start cultivating now in your own personal intimate life, because those are the ones that you need to be very mindful of. You have the opportunity now to change and to break that cycle, that family cycle. And that, my dear, is that transformation. That, my dear, is where your power comes in, because you are giving somebody else power over your emotions and over your pain. Take back your power. It's not his, it's yours. It was never his, it was always yours. You gave it to him because he initiated it, but you kept it. You kept it by continuing that cycle. Does that make sense? Whew, that got a lot deeper than I thought it was going to. Gabrielle, I am sending you so much love, my dear. I am sending you so much just healing, and I'm, just wishing you all the love and the peace in this world, because you definitely deserve it. And let's just all take a moment right now to just wrap Gabrielle in our hearts, and then just in our hearts, just take a second and say her name. And just say peace and love to you. Peace and love to you. Thank you. Thank you. I think that there's something very powerful when you have a community behind you, wanting you to heal and wanting to give you love. Thank you, Gabrielle, for being here. It was such an honor to be able to share with you. Okay, we had some other people join in. Whew, I need water. Diane, I think I said hello to you. I think I said hello to you, Diane. I think so. Oh, Helen would like a card. Oh, Helen, can I do the goddess card on you? You don't mind? That was amazing. All right. This was one of my favorite decks. I loved working with this deck when I was first kind of started doing readings like years ago. Shakti, hello, welcome back, my dear. So good to see you. Fred, welcome. Thank you for being here. Is that Albania? Are you here from Albania? Is that really? Wait, Albania, Alabama? Is that a thing? Did I read that right? Nice to see you, Shakti. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. All right, let's see. Helen. Thank you. I got one more for you. All right, so your first card is fairness. The situation will be handled in fair and just manner. I love this, just kind of trusting the universe, allowing things to come as they do. And then your second card is the prosperity card. The universe is pouring its abundance onto you. Be open to receiving. Remember, first of all, that fairness card, in order to receive, you have to start letting things go and just trusting the universe and allowing things to work out exactly how they're supposed to. Love these cards. Wait, where am I? There it is. So fairness. There you go. And then your prosperity card is your second card. Allowing and being just open to receiving. I think sometimes we tend to self-sabotage too, don't we? Oh, I wanted to mention, because I should have the inbox open. If anybody does a donation, please make sure that you put that in the chat so I can get to you first, straight away. Donations receive priority over others. Aren't these beautiful? I missed working with these cards. That's kind of the issue, like when you get so many cards that, like, you can't work with all of the cards all of the time. I don't know, 25, 30 decks, 25 decks, maybe-ish. So you start collecting decks, and then you just start working with the new ones, and then the other ones just kind of get pushed. And then you kind of have your favorites. I don't know. That's just kind of how it is. That's how it is. All right, let's see. Who else is next? Hello, Tylene. Shakti, I will get to you. You're so welcome. Shakti, and then Jennifer. All right. Thank you. So, Shakti, for you, we are using the Keepers of the Light deck. Awesome. Yes, I am also working with the Goddess deck tonight. I usually just go with decks that are that just call to me. So, oh, there we go. Ooh, speaking the truth, this seems to be a big one tonight. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Let's go, please. First card for you is Joan of Arc, Voice of Truth. Stand strong. Focus on your purpose. Release the fear of persecution and speak your truth. Like I said, this seems to be the theme of tonight. Remember how I always say, like, there's usually themes? Like, speaking your truth seems to be the theme for tonight. Commander Ashtar, call to action. Take charge. Lead by example. Walk the talk. Walk your talk. And then your last card is Green Tara, Supreme Protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond the limitation and trust. Thank you. One of the thing that is coming through so strong right now is just the love and the protection that you have around you to give you the ability to speak your truth. One of the things that really stands out is that the cords are being cut. In order for you to get through to this next phase, that's speaking your truth, and you literally have to just be able to exclaim it to the universe. Let your voice be heard and know that it is absolutely okay for you to speak it. And like I was telling, I think it was Sherry earlier that I was mentioning it, we cannot worry about if people are going to stay or if they're going to leave when we speak our truth. People that are meant to be in your life and stay in your life, they're going to continue to be in your life. They're going to work through the disagreements. They're going to work through those things and listen to you from an ear that's loving versus a judgment and criticism, if that makes sense. So that supreme protection is just saying, you know what, we got you. Know that you are able to speak your truth, do what you have to do, and we're going to continue to love and protect you, even in those times that you don't have to have fear to launch your work, my dear. You can't. Look, your work is an extension of you. Your work is an extension of who you are and your passion and your voice. That is what your work is. Who's going to launch your work if you don't? What's the worst that can happen? You fail, right? Now, I get that. Dana, there's so much writing on this, but hear me out for a second. If you fail, what are your options? You either get up and try again, figure out what didn't work, or you don't. Those are your two options, realistically. So if you can go back and fear of judgment, yes, but whose judgment? Theirs or yours? Because everybody's always going to judge you. You're always going to have someone judge you, my dear. You're always going to have somebody who doesn't like what you're doing. There's always going to be 1 or 5 or 10 or 500,000. There's always going to be. But there are 7 billion people on this world. You're going to reach who you need to reach. This is your opportunity to reach who you need to reach. If you don't speak your truth, then you're never going to be able to make anything succeed. I know I judge myself and I'm a perfectionist. Perfectionism is a symptom of anxiety. It is a side effect of anxiety. It's if I don't do this, this can't happen. And you literally self-sabotage yourself because you are waiting to do something so perfect that if I can't do it perfect, then I'm not going to do it at all. True? Good night, Kate. It was wonderful having you here. Dream sweet, my dear. So I say that to say is that you're going to fail. You're going to fail many, many times. People are going to judge you many, many times. You're going to judge yourself many, many times. But your truth and your passion and your mission has to be greater than your fear. Am I reading your mind? I don't know. I hope so. I'm reading your cards, and that's where that call to action, take charge, walk your talk. You know what it is you have to do. This is literally the sign of, like, if you needed a sign, like, should I be doing something? Call to action. Here it is. They're literally telling you it's going to be okay. You're not always going to get this. You're not always going to get things right, especially if you're starting, it's a project or your business or whatever it is that you're launching. You're launching your work, but your work is an extension of you. If you are passionate about what you do, if you put your heart and soul and whatever into it, it will not fail. If you are doing your mission, you cannot fail. You cannot fail if you are living your mission. You can't. It may look like you're failing to other people, but that's not your mission isn't their vision. Right? You are not there. There are plenty of people out there who may not like me as a coach or a reader. Absolutely fine. I completely respect that. But again, there are 7 billion people in this world. I'm going to reach who I'm supposed to. I am only here to help the people that I'm supposed to help. That's it. I'm not going to take responsibility for all 7 billion people. That's a lot. I don't want to. That's too damn much as far as I'm concerned. But it takes a village. Everybody has their own gifts. I have specific gifts that I use when I'm doing my readings or when I'm doing my coaching. Those are my gifts that I use specifically. Now, it may work for some people. It may not work for some people. That's perfectly okay. But I reach the people that I'm supposed to reach in the way that I reach. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that, if you think about motivational speakers like Tony Robbins and who is the other one? Brene Brown and Simon Sinek, all of those, Gary Vee, all of those guys, for all intent and purposes, they all have the same message, but they all deliver it a certain way, right? Tony Robbins is high energy, high this, high that, He's going to reach people that are like that, right? People that are like that are going to, or people that need that motivation, they're going to gravitate to him. But he reaches that particular audience. Now, Brene Brown may have some of the same, things that she talks about, but hers is more, she expresses it very differently. So she has a very specific audience. Do you see how I'm saying it? The messages are all the same. It's just how people deliver it. My message, and let's just say Kit, she's one of the other readers here. She may come in and we may have the same message and have 2 completely different ways that we present it. It doesn't mean that my way is better than hers or that her ways is better than mine. We're just 2 different people who express ourselves 2 different ways. We may get the same cards and say things in different ways. It doesn't mean that one is right or wrong. You reach the people you're supposed to. If you continue to follow your mission, if you continue to follow your purpose, you will not fail. Now, I say that to say, when I say fail, I say it in a sense of, like, you might have failures, but you won't fail in your mission. Oh, thank you, Kim. You're so sweet. So when you fail, I was saying, you have those 2 options, right? You have the option of saying, bump it, like, I'm not going to go do anything else. I'm just going to give up and, like, just not do anything. Or you can say, well, what here didn't work? How can I rework this and now continue on? You can stop or you can continue to go, because successful people are going to fail. You have to fail in order to succeed. You have to. There is not one successful person who hasn't failed. If you haven't failed, you haven't tried. Truth? If you haven't failed, you haven't tried. If you tried and you failed, you go in, what part of it needs to be reworked? What part do I need to fix? You go back in, you fix that part, and you keep going. and you continue the process. You don't always have to start from scratch. Now, again, walk your talk, voice of truth, which is your work, my dear, which is an extension of you. And don't worry about all of that because you are protected. Trust, move beyond limitation. Like I need you. I don't know if you could snapshot that, but move beyond limitation and trust. That is your message. You got this. You got this, Shakti. You got this. I believe in you. That was good. All right, Jennifer, got you next. Jennifer, for you, we have the Angel deck. You are so sweet, Kim. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We got one more reading. Jennifer, you are my last reading for tonight. Beautiful. Again, this is another one that kind of reads out like a story. So your first one, Jennifer Hartman Cooper, is your first card is raise your vibration. Your second card is self-acceptance. Oops. And your third card is joy and contentment. And like I was saying, this kind of reads out like a beautiful story to me as it's coming through. One plays into the other, right? That raising your vibration. Abraham Hicks always talks about choosing another thought. Choose again. Keep choosing. Keep choosing. If you know how energy frequency, vibrational frequency works, if you understand that your emotions carry an energetic frequency to it, and one plays into the other, you will understand that raising your vibration and learning how to challenge your thoughts, because remember, a thought and a belief is just a thought and a belief. A belief is something you just keep telling yourself over and over again. It doesn't make it a fact. It just makes it a thought. It just makes it something that you have convinced yourself of, or somebody has convinced you of. So belief isn't necessarily a fact. It's just something that we're used to hearing for an extensive period of time, which in our mind now becomes a belief. But so much of that now comes into that, again, that self-acceptance, which is where that raise the vibration. When we raise our vibration, there is the intimate love that we have for ourselves. We are able to create that relationship, the acceptance, the love, able to give and receive love. So we can be just by nature very loving and very giving, but it's difficult for us to receive love in a way that feels good, or just receive love in general. Like I need to always give and it's hard for me to take, kind of thing. But that self-acceptance is knowing that, look, I have flaws, I have things, but I love myself anyway. I love my body. I love the fact that I can fall and I can get up. I love. Self-acceptance is self-awareness. Self-awareness is self-love. Self-love is self-worth. All of those things, I call them spiderwebbing in my coaching. We spiderweb all of those things together, intricate. One has to play into the other. Now, when you do that, what ends up happening, yes, you raise your vibrational frequency. When you raise your vibrational frequency and you're in that one of those highest states of love and gratitude, which is one of the highest frequencies you can be in, my dear, you're enjoying contentment. one, like that's what I was saying in the beginning, like they kind of spill into one of the other. It's the awareness of reminder for you actually right now. Just I'm hearing reminder, the reminder to have that self acceptance, accepting yourself in a way that feels loving and authentic, nothing that feels forced, because force doesn't work with you. So feeling very authentic in a way, little things where you're starting to love yourself. Affirmations that you can believe, right? So if when we struggle with affirmations, it's because we have a hard time believing them. So affirmations that you can believe, affirmations. And when I say that, I want you to think about, like, for example, if you struggle with um, strength, like I am strong. Think of a time in your life where you felt very strong and you had that strength. And when you think about that time, just hold that thought for like 15, 20 seconds. Just remember that time. So remember. And then the affirmation of I am strong. Why? Because now you are creating an emotional and a mental anchor to that affirmation. So now you have proof of life that you are strong. But if I say I'm strong and I can't back that up with anything, I'm not gonna attach to that affirmation. It's not gonna make sense to me, and I'm not gonna like it, and I'm not gonna want to do it. And when I say it, I'm not gonna believe it. So if you struggle with affirmations, because certain affirmations we can pretty much roll off the top of our tongue, yeah. But the affirmations that you struggle with, and I kind of want you to start paying attention to those affirmations that you struggle with, I want you to write those down. And then for each one of those, I would like for you to think of a time, because you were struggling with it, that you actually had that time in your life where I am beautiful. Think of a time where you felt beautiful, and then go back to that and create that emotional mental anchor. Everything I try fails. I've been struggling for a year. Okay. Um, I would love, I'm happy to do a free consultation, just kind of work that out with you one to one. But when you say everything I try fails, you've been struggling for a year, that is where this, again, one of those things is going to spill into the other. When we create that, and when we're in that space of joy and contentment, we're in that place of love, and we're in that place of peace. Like attracts like, and you're going to continue to attract things and people and opportunities that are going to give you all the things that you need in order to continue in the thing, in your space and in your journey. Everything I try fails. Now, I will say this to you. Do you try things once and then it doesn't work, or are you trying things several times, and are you consistent? Because what ends up happening is, if we try 1,000 things one time, nothing's going to stick, nothing's going to work. If we try one thing several times, 100 times, 200 times, well, eventually it starts working, because you've gained consistency, and you have, what they say, skin in the game, if you will. So I say that to say is that not everything is going to stick. However, figure out what part of it isn't working. You don't always, like I was just telling Shakti, you don't always have to start from zero. You can start from the last thing that didn't work and then work up from there. Now, if you're talking about like a self-esteem type thing, those things take time. Sometimes they take counseling. Sometimes, there's things that need to be worked out, and whatever it is that needs to be worked out, it can be worked out. But these are things that you have to make a commitment to want to heal and to want to get through. But once you do, and you start changing the vibration, going into that self-acceptance, this is what you're going to see each and every time. Now, will it last? Of course, things don't always last. But when you have that self-acceptance and you have that strength, because what ends up happening, this is one of my things about, sometimes when people start talking, love and light and all those things, none of that is is going to last. Like, we are meant to have challenges in our life. We are meant to have experiences. We are meant to have all of those things so that we can get strength, so we can have lessons, so we can have, wisdom, not just for other people, but for ourselves, how to manage through this thing called life. And as we start gaining that wisdom and as we start gaining that strength, we take that, we build on it to the next thing. What's the next thing? Okay, the next level, which is, working on my self-love. Okay, where did my self-love begin shattering? Sometimes it's childhood, right? So when I'm working with my clients, we go right back to the root cause. Work with that little by little. Give yourself grace, my dear. Give yourself compassion as you are working through, because everything is right there waiting for you. It's asking you just to not lose faith. And as you're doing this, remember, just keep choosing another thought, so then that way you can continue moving up. If you need help, I am so, so happy to help you. Please make sure that you reach out on my website. I am past time. Of course, I want to be respectful to the other readers on Psychic Fixes, so I am going to cut out of here. Thank you so much. Oh, Tylene, thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, everyone. I appreciate you. I will see you guys next week, Monday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever that looks like on your time zone. Thank you so much for being here. Blessed be. See you guys soon.